Hey there geeks and geekettes, this is something completely different about something completely different. This is my Netflix Tiger King series explained. Stay tuned. 'Cause I saw Tiger, now I understand. If you have not watched this series, this isn't for you, as this is going to feature heavy spoilers. If you've got no intention of watching it, watch this review and then maybe you'll go and watch the show, because wow. So the premise, now I've had to make some notes. So Tiger King is a limited short documentary on Netflix. Cause I saw Tiger, now I understand. This program was, and I assumed it was a documentary in the style of a murderer. Holy shit, was I wrong. I was majorly wrong. So this mockumentary, no, this documentary, because really, if you watch it, you'll think it's a mockumentary for quite some time. I had to check, even after I finished it, I'm still looking for evidence that this was all made up and acted really well. Mini documentary is about the subculture of keeping exotic animals, namely big cats, lions and tigers, and toothless crackheads. This program is more about the shady world and the characters, I mean people involved in the private zoos and the buying and selling of tiger cubs, euthanasia of tigers. I mean, you take all the funny aspects of this show out and it is a really sad, horrific story. Predominantly you are hooked into the show by this guy. His name is Joe Exotic. So as I said, I was already questioning in the first episode if this was a mockumentary. To me it seemed like if Making a Murderer had been written and directed by Jerry Springer. But no, this shit is real. Stick with me, please. Joe Exotic is, and I have to go to my notes here, a self-confessed, mullet-wearing, gay, bigamist, country music singing, governor-running, presidential candidate, reality TV star, zoo owner. Yep, none of that is a lie. I swear. Joe is a zoo owner who is a bigamist. He sports a mullet. I mean, there's going to be pictures of this guy all the way through because he's a character. He marries two, not one, two 19-year-old straight boys at the same time. Wedding photo there. I can't work out why these two 19-year-old lads would stay with this guy working at this guy's frankly shocking zoo. It couldn't possibly be anything to do with the amount of crystal meth and weed that he supplies them with. Allegedly supplies them with, even though there are photos of both these guys with copious amounts of drugs surrounding them. He also buys them trucks, but yeah, I'm sure they genuinely loved their gay boss, pimp, drug dealer. Ooh, this isn't even the weird shit yet. So yeah, he keeps them in check with weed, meth, not letting them off the park, up until one of them tries to prove that his gun won't fire without a clip in it by putting the gun to his head, pulling the trigger, and basically blows his brains out. If the camera hadn't have been, the CCTV camera hadn't have been directly above him, it would have been in this show, this guy blowing his brains out, and that's real. This guy actually died. I swear, this is real, and this is only part of the craziness. So all three of these live at the zoo with all of the other sort of people. Anyone that works at the zoo basically lives there. And the zoo is mostly a zoo of lions, tigers and meth addicts. They're all fed on Walmart expired meat. Basically they buy bins of expired meat. Not just for the animals, the staff eat this shit too. There's video footage of them digging through to see what is the best for the humans, and then the rest goes to the Tigers. So the staff, for some reason, are loyal to a fault. Again, I don't think it's anything to do with the crystal meth and the copious amount of weed. They're loyal to a point where one of them, she actually loses an arm in a tiger attack, and after 7 days, returns to work. I've had more time off the flu. This woman lost an arm. I mean, talk about giving your left arm for your job. Wow. So the more prolific Joe Exotic becomes with the reality TV and all the rest of it, the further on the wrong side he gets of a fellow zoo. That's wrong. I mean, fellow sanctuary owner, Carol, as I like to call her, Carol Negan Baskin. She works at a big cat rescue. The place is called Big Cat Rescue. She doesn't believe in big cats being kept in cages and keeps her big cats in cages and makes millions and millions of dollars off her big cats. But she doesn't let people pet cubs. She has standards. So it introduces her and her new husband, and this picture of her and her new husband isn't even weird by this show's standard. Look at it. So Carol was originally married to, back to my notes, millionaire Don Lewis, who went missing just after signing everything he had ever owned over to Carol, whilst leaving a paper trail saying, "That crazy bitch killed me." So Joe, the Tiger King, accuses Carol of feeding her or murdering her husband and then feeding her dead husband to her tigers. She then sets about destroying Joe through Peter and all these different animal organisations, because what he's doing is cruel, and I don't dispute that. The way that he runs his place, it ain't great, and the further through the show it gets, the worse it is. But she is every bit as bad. Also turns out she started like him, selling cubs. Joe then sets up an internet-based TV show and a reality show where on a weekly or even daily basis he threatens to shoot Carol in the face and put her head in a jar on his desk. He then proceeds to have a blow-up sex doll called Carol, where he blows it up with dynamite, he puts dildos in her mouth, he shoots it in the head. Yep, basically death threats on a weekly basis. All while this is going on, you've still got the comedy value of Joe's husband, the one that didn't kill himself by shooting himself in the head to prove that a gun was safe. Thankfully, for comedy value, has more teeth than brain cells. I have never ever seen anything like this in my life, and this show is a great advert of why it is illegal to marry your sister, your brother or your cousins. While all of this is happening, Joe starts being filmed for a reality TV show about Joe the Tiger King. This proper TV director comes in, he's credited with doing other reality TV shows and making stars out of people. He comes in realising how crazy this place is, or he knows how crazy, or thinks he knows how crazy this place is, and he is completely underprepared for what he describes as, back to my notes, he refers to Oklahoma as Oklahoma and Buttfucksville. So as this guy is making this documentary, Tiger King Paul, he seemingly gets possessed by some evil demon, and while he is becoming possessed and obsessed with Carol, Carol is becoming obsessed with taking him down. Joe is so obsessed by Carol that he copies her logos and everything on his documentary web series, to the point where she then tries to sue him for $1 million. Jumping ahead of myself a little here. Fair play to Joe. If you're going to pick a fight with the woman who murdered her husband and buried him with tigers, or fed him to tigers. Allegedly murdered him. Sorry, Carol. Don't kill me. So, right. Carol tries to sue Joe for $1 million. Joe kindly then gives his zoo and most of his belongings to his mother. Carol is obviously still entitled to this stuff, so Joe's mother goes bankrupt. I mean, this guy, top quality son there, making his mum go bankrupt. The stuff he does keep, like his watch, he straps to dynamite, shoots it, blows it to bits, and then tells this bitch she's welcome to it. This isn't scripted. Joe, realising he's made some death threats, numerous threats of some sick, twisted stuff, he sort of realises he could potentially be in a lot of trouble. All of this is on camera. But luckily for him, while he's out of town for a few hours, his studio slash barn slash alligator enclosure, where all of the stock footage is kept, is burnt down. Joe, of course, is out of the area and couldn't possibly have paid anyone to have done this for him to get him out of trouble. His reality TV show is dead. The zoo is in financial trouble. Joe himself thinks he's in peril. So enter our next character, person. Jeff Lau, or Low. He's a millionaire that strangled his first wife. Back to my notes. Then got with his mistress while obviously strangling his wife. He then marries his mistress. They happen to be swingers who lure younger swingers in with young tiger cubs into hotel rooms. Couldn't think why you'd want to help Tiger King Joe out. Jeff is the ultimate example of how money can buy you happiness. Jeff offers to help Joe with the Carol issue and the zoo out of the kindness of his heart, and while doing this he finds his next bit on the side, his next nanny. So Jeff then starts to manage the zoo, but eventually just takes over, kicks Joe out. But before that, Jeff, Joe and two other guys I can't even be asked to find the names of, allegedly have a conversation about allegedly shooting Carol on a bike track in Florida that they know she rides up and down on a bicycle every day. Allegedly. While this is happening, Joe decides he is going to run for President of the United States of America. He truly believes that he could be the next President of the United States of America, when it dawns on him suddenly that maybe he's not quite, top of the list. He settles for something else and runs for the governor of Oklahoma. Oklahoma. But his eyes are still set on the presidency. The guy genuinely, realistically believes all of this can happen. I shit you not. In what world could a lunatic reality TV presenter become the President of the United States of America and one of the most powerful men in the world? As all this is going on, obviously Joe's one husband has shot himself. Joe then hires Jeff's friend to travel to Florida to kill Carol for, back to my notes, $3,000. But this guy goes to Florida, he parties like it's 1999, probably marries his sister in the meantime, and bails out of actually committing the hit. The $3,000 was probably a good, decent amount of money to have a wedding where you've only got to invite one side of the family. Joe marries another guy after being distraught for a total of 2 months, and this guy may be straight to crack cocaine. So everyone then throws Joe under the bus, and he gets 22 years in prison for his behaviour to animals and trying to have this Carol woman killed. Everyone else is being investigated by the feds for murder, attempted murder, embezzlement, animal cruelty, buying and selling of cubs. Carol seems to have got away with everything, even the murder of her husband, and the fact that everything she's accused Joe and all these other people of doing, she did before them. Yeah, Carol, who did not murder and feed her ex to... So Carol, who did not murder and feed her ex to tigers, she didn't. Remains with her face and head, intact, not in a jar. And she's apparently really pissed at this show because it shows her in a negative light and doesn't show how evil Joe and the others are. Finn, Joe's first husband, now has teeth, a wife and a child. Right, if this review seems crazy, it is not a fraction of how crazy this show is. I can't do this show justice. The magnificence of the Tiger King, who, while giving a eulogy for his recently headshot husband, back to my notes, how his dead husband used to teabag him. This guy's mother is present, the dead guy's mother is present, and part of the eulogy is about this guy teabagging his husband. Comedy gold, but apparently all very real. This documentary, 11 out of 10. Comedy gold. This is the best thing I have ever watched, while at the same time being a total car crash. It is absolutely outstanding. It is hilarious. And while you're sat there laughing at it, almost enjoying the characters, you realise these are real people who have really tortured animals, tried to kill people, set fire to shit. They've tried to get around federal law. These are genuinely just horrible, horrible, nasty, evil people, and you're kind of rooting for King Joe. It is quite the watch. So I've been the Bearded Geek, and that was me explaining to the best I can the crazy, crazy world of Buttfucksville, Oklahoma, and the Tiger King on Netflix. Go and watch it. If you've watched it, please discuss down below. I can't wait to see some comments on this. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and if you're wondering what are all the noises in the background, or the music in the background, Tiger King, that's his music. So enjoy the music. I'll see you guys soon for another review unboxing of one of these. Bye.
Oh, here, kitty, kitty. Well, Mama's got some treats for you. Oh, here, kitty, kitty. Well, you can't find this taste in the zoo. Oh, here, kitty, kitty. Well, Mama Carol, she sure loves you. Oh, here, kitty, kitty. Mama made this for you. 'Cause I saw a tiger, now I understand.